Hey, it's John Terry, the Black Belt Leader, and welcome to the Be a Black Belt Leader podcast, where each week I'm sharing tips, tools, insights, and resources to help you become a better version of who you are and what you do, and to learn how to master your life. Now, what if there was an uncommon school where you and we could continue our education beyond the basics of K-12 or even college that was focused on success? Now, you may be immediately saying, John, why in the world would I want to go back to school? Why in the world would I want to go through all that awkwardness, that weirdness, that strangeness of having to grow up all over again? And if given the choice of having to go back to school, I think most people would say, no, thanks. Been there, done that. But seriously, who wants to go back to school? More importantly, who needs to go back to school? I think the answer to that second question is the most important of all. And the answer really for all of us is we all need to go back to school, especially if that school is focused on success. Now, why am I talking about school today? According to a recent study done by literacyinc.com, 80% of U.S. families have not purchased a single book this year. And 50% of the people that bought a book this year will never read that book to completion. Now, I'm a prolific reader. I love reading. I read an hour or two every day. And for me, that's how I learn. It's how I grow. But interestingly enough, half the people that buy books never finish them. And 1 in 3, 33% of U.S. high school graduates never read a single book for the rest of their lives after graduating high school. Now, reading is one of the ways that we learn something new. It's how we learn to do something in a different or a better way. Or it's how we add the collective wisdom and life experience of another individual to our own. It's one of the ways that you and I can add the collective wisdom of incredible people who have tried, failed, tried again, and succeeded. And we learn the life lessons they've learned without having to make the mistakes along the way they learned before they got it right. I refer to that as a grown-up kind of school. And that's really what I want to talk about. Yet when most of us look back at our time at school, we realize that for many of us, it was a time of being taught what to think, what to say, how to act, and how to speak. Unless you were one of the fortunate few who had the opportunity to have a really dynamic teacher, someone who truly cared about you as an individual, that taught you how to think, not just what to think, and taught you why thinking was so critically important to you becoming a success in life, you are likely indoctrinated into what I call the worker bee mentality. Now, what do I mean by that? If you're a worker bee, here's what you did. You got your education, you got a job, you do what you're told to do by someone else for the next 30 to 40 years of your life. You get married, you have a few kids, you raise them, you send them out on their own to do the very same thing, you save a little bit of money, and then you retire. That's the worker bee mentality. And sadly, millions of Americans have bought into this mindset of mediocrity. And they've never risen to their full potential in life. They're living a mundane existence, going through the motions day to day. And maybe somewhere in the back of their mind, they're wondering if something else is out there, something elusive that if they could just touch it, see it, smell it, grab it, taste it, life could be better for them. But they never really venture out to see what's there. Why? Because they've never been taught how to think independently and how to seek, pursue, and seize success. Now, why do I say that? Well, let me ask you to go back and think about your time in school. You were taught to read, to write, to do math, and probably learn some science. And maybe they threw in a little bit of history, art, music, athletics, but that was basically it. Home ec, if you grew up in the 60s, 70s, maybe even back in the 50s, they taught home ec, not today. But were you ever taught the principles of success? Sadly, the answer is probably no. Did you ever have a teacher take the time to teach you good work ethic? Probably not. Did you ever have an instructor teach you the value of accomplishment? Did your school emphasize critical thinking or the importance of learning how to think independently and think for yourself? Were character values such as discipline, respect, honor, integrity, humility, kindness, goodness, generosity, compassion, diligence, were those things taught in the classroom? Probably not. How many classes did you take where you were encouraged or even taught how to discover your passion, your calling, and what it is that you have been put on this earth to do? Were there any classes you went through in school that helped you uncover, cultivate, and develop your unique giftedness? Sadly, probably not. How many of your teachers actually taught values-based leadership principles in the classroom? How to lead yourself well, how to make good choices, how to effectively lead other people, how to create cohesive, collaborative, synergistic teams that are high performance, results focused, people centric, values driven, and simply get more things done. Sadly, for most Americans, the short answer is no. Now, going back to the 19th century, philosopher and naturalist Henry David Thoreau was asking similar questions in his time. He was observing that students were learning the basics of school, the 3 R's as we often refer to them, but they weren't really being prepared for success in life. Thoreau noted in one of his writings, and let me give you a quote. He says, "It is time that we had uncommon schools, that we didn't leave off our education when we began to be men and women." Now, I like that idea, an uncommon school where we continue our education beyond the basics of childhood, beyond K through 12, and even beyond a 4-year college degree. Now, to me, this uncommon school, to be successful, needs to be focused on success. And that's the school I want to talk about. A grown-up kind of uncommon school where success is the emphasis and the focus. I'm talking about a school committed to teaching men and women, you and I, how to discover, develop, and deploy our own unique black belt leader within, to help us become world-class masters at who we are and what we do, to create an environment where the relentless pursuit of black belt excellence is not only expected, it's encouraged, and where the people that attend this school are fully equipped and empowered to pursue it and make the most of it. Well, here's the good news. That uncommon school exists. It's called the School of Life. Yep, you and I, each and every one of us, you and I, we get to create our own uncommon school. What I like to refer to as the dojo of success, by choosing to never stop learning and always be training. Now, I've said for years that being a black belt leader is committing to becoming a lifetime student of learning, being a lifetime learner. And when you commit to personal growth and development in your life, a life plan, whatever you want to call it, you're setting yourself up for more success and a more satisfied and fulfilled life. You know, one of my favorite quotes from Ray Kroc, who is the intellectual genius behind the global success of McDonald's franchise, is this, and I quote it often: "As long as you're green, you're growing, but once you're ripe, you start to rot." You know, I have to wonder how many people living in the United States and around the world today are rotten people. Now, what do I mean by that? Too many people today are rotten. They're living rotten, unsatisfied, unfulfilled lives because they've stopped learning, they've stopped growing, they've stopped training. And when they do that, they stop improving and they stop becoming a daily better version of who they are and what they do. Now, why does this happen? Because they stopped feeding their mind. Remember, as you think, you become. And when you stop thinking, you stop becoming. Now, let me say that again. That's an important quote. And I encourage you to write that down. Put it on a sticky note and stick it on your screen. Put it on your bathroom mirror and say that to yourself every day. As you think, you become. And when you stop thinking, you stop becoming. Hello? Are you listening? You and I, we live in a time of unlimited opportunity. We live in a time of unprecedented capability. The opportunity we have today to expand, to grow, and to achieve phenomenal levels of success has never been easier, has never been greater than it is right now. Yet with all of this unlimited opportunity, with all of this unprecedented capability that we have at our disposal, less than 1% of all people on the planet are going to choose to take advantage of this opportunity, of these capabilities, to rise to their full potential and to achieve the level of success that they were put on this earth to become. Most people, they simply do their time in K-12 and maybe go on to another 4 years of college, or they do some time in a VOTEC, and then they settle for the mundane. They settle into that status quo, average, mediocre, life luster existence that 99% of Americans settle for, simply becoming a cog in the wheel of someone else's success. Now, you and I, we were created on purpose for a purpose. And within us is what we need to achieve that purpose in life. But it's up to you and I, it's up to each and every one of us to equip and prepare ourselves to accomplish and fulfill the purpose we were put on this planet to do. That's why it requires you and I attend a grown-up kind of school, the dojo of success. After all, think of it this way. If you won't take the time to discover, develop, and deploy your own unique black belt leader within, who's going to do it for you? If everybody else is focused on themselves, why don't you focus on yourself to become the very best version of you that you can become? And in doing that, have an opportunity to change your world for the better and change the lives of other people who will follow you and change their lives for the better as well. If you're not going to take the time to become a black belt master of who you are and what you do, how in the world are you ever going to rise to your full potential? How in the world are you ever going to achieve the unleveled parallel of success in life that is waiting for you to step into the greatness of who you are and achieve? So you may ask the question, okay, John, tell me about this dojo of success. What should this dojo of success teach me? Well, for starters, the dojo of success should teach you how to improve the quality of your thinking. Now, why is that important? Because you can't outperform the quality of your thinking. Remember the quote I shared earlier, as you think, you become. And when you stop thinking, you stop becoming. So to become a better version of who you are and what you do, you've got to first learn to think better thoughts. Now, this dojo of success should also instruct you in the areas of goal setting, self-motivation, handling adversity, and learning to overcome self-defeating habits that are holding you back from more real-life success in your life. This dojo of success should teach you effective values-based leadership and how to implement it. It should teach you effective time management, good decision-making, efficient time structure so that you use the most of every moment of every day, building self-confidence, improving your self-esteem, developing an organizational plan for success and implementing, how to manage and deal with and use stress to your advantage, and more importantly, how to take those uncomfortable steps into the growth zone where the mastery of your life begins and how to stay there until you become a black belt master of who you are and what you do. But wait, there's more, says the commercial, and the dojo of success is no more different than that. The dojo of success should not only teach you what I've shared, it should also teach you how money works and how to make money work for you. It should not only provide you with the keys and the insights and the tips and tools to creating and accumulating wealth, but it should also teach you the wisdom for its wise use so you don't squander what you create and learn how to use it well. Remember, wisdom teaches you how to control money so money doesn't control you. Now, this grown-up kind of school, this dojo of success, should also teach you how to influence people. This is an essential part of values-based leadership. This dojo of success should instruct you on the ways of effective communication, how to become a purposeful, effective listener, and how to ask good questions that lead to great answers. This same dojo of success should teach you how to become a mentor and a guide, because the role of a leader is to one day replace himself or herself. And when you become a mentor or a guide to others, what are you doing? You're helping other people discover, develop, and deploy their own unique black belt leader within and rising to their own level of greatness that was instilled within them. So what else should you learn in this dojo of success? How to establish good work-life balance, the benefits of proper diet and exercise, and how to rest, relax, and recover. One of the things this dojo of success should teach you, and it is a critical lesson you have to learn, is the importance of moving from success, which is temporary, to significance, which is lasting. What am I talking about? How to create a lasting legacy of significance that continues after you're gone to inspire and influence other people. Now, Heinrich William von Loon was a Dutch-American historian. He was a journalist and he was a children's author, probably best known for his book and the movie after the name, The Story of Mankind. A quote from Heinrich's book really sums up succinctly what I've been saying. In history, as in life, it is success that counts. So, what's your greatest asset? Of all the assets that you have at your disposal, what is your greatest asset? Let me tell you what I believe it is. I believe it is your ability to learn, to grow, and to improve. It's your ability to move from where you are to where you want to be. It's your potential to transform yourself from the person you are now into the successful, incredibly dynamic person that you were put on this earth to become the black belt master of who you are and what you do. But this can only happen when you enroll in the dojo of success and when you stay in this grown-up kind of school, learning the lessons life needs to teach you. And here's what I can tell you about the dojo of success, this grown-up school of teaching you what you need to learn to be successful in life. It is a school of perpetual learning because black belt leaders in life are lifetime students of learning. What am I talking about? It's a grown-up kind of school for people who are serious about truly becoming a black belt master of who they are and what they do. It's a grown-up kind of school for people who want to discover, develop, and deploy their own unique black belt leader within, to discover their mission, their calling, their purpose, and to bring that to fruition and fulfillment in their lives. It's a call for you to invest in yourself and in your future success. Now, why do I say that? An investment is required because nothing worthwhile in life is free. And if you're not willing to invest in yourself, time, energy, and yes, money, why in the world would you ask anyone else to invest in you or even believe in you? That's a potent question. If you won't invest in yourself, why would anyone else ever invest in you? And why would you ask other people to believe in you? So here's my question as we wrap up today's leadership lesson. Are you ready to grow up and grow into becoming the successful person you were put on this earth to become? Are you willing to grow up and grow into the black belt leader that is waiting inside of you, waiting for you to discover, develop, and deploy it to make a difference in the earth and become the black belt leader you were put on this earth to be? Success awaits those who are willing to invest the time, energy, and effort in themselves to become all that they were capable of becoming, do all that they were capable of doing, saying all that they were capable of saying, and making a difference in a time that needs a difference made. And that time is right now. Join the Black Belt Dojo. Join the dojo of success. And here's the great thing about it. You get to create your own dojo of success by understanding and realizing what you need to learn as you develop and deploy your passion, your purpose, your calling. You discovered your own black belt leader, and you begin to grow into the fullness of what that is. I'm John Terry, the Black Belt Leader. Thanks for joining me, and have a great day.